morning, everyone. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you to the inaugural of the CEA Fest, the annual flagship event of the Civil Engineering Association. CEA Fest is more than just the celebration of technical excellence. It is a place where innovation meets enthusiasm and theory meets practice. Across the next few days, CEA Fest will bring together students, faculties, and professionals through competitions, workshops, exhibitions, and more, all centered around the ever-evolving world of civil engineering. This year, we are also thrilled to kick off the fest with a special initiative, the CEA Summit, a platform designed to bridge the gap between academic learning and real-world industry practices. With panel discussions, expert talks, and networking sessions, the summit adds a new dimension of relevance and insight into the fest. To begin this wonderful morning, I would now like to take a moment to welcome our dignitaries and esteemed guests. I would like to welcome our HOD, Sir Benny Raphael, our CEA advisor, Professor Chandrasekhar Anaraghu, our esteemed faculty, Professor Raghukant, and our LNT EduTech representative, Sir Bala Subramaniam, along with Professor Venuraj, to the stage for the lighting of the ceremony. Thank you, sir. Now we can move on to the welcome address. To formally welcoming everyone and to set the tone for today's gathering, I now invite Professor Chandrasekhar Anaraghu, sir, to deliver the welcome address.
Thank you and welcome everyone. It's really my pleasure to welcome all of you to the CEA Fest. It gives me a lot of happiness to see that this festival is conducted every year again after the hiatus we had during COVID, because I have very fond memories of this festival from my time as a student. We in fact saw students building bridges using just rolls of newspapers, and then seeing a live person crossing over that bridge, right? So These kinds of things where they bridge the theoretical concepts they learn in class and do something practical, right? And work together in teams collaboratively like they would do out in the real world is really something that brings us a lot of joy. I look forward to your enthusiastic and energetic participation over the next 3 days. And this year, of course, we are also very excited to have the workshop on careers in civil engineering, which is something that I'm sure you're all very interested in learning about. And we have Professor Raju leading that initiative along with professionals who are at various stages in their careers, senior, early stages, as well as mid-career. And we are expecting that to be very informative and educational for all of you. So welcome, and I really look forward to a very energetic and enthusiastic fest, and we hope to see this energy for the next 3 days. Thanks all.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful words. Next, I would like to invite Professor Raghukant to share a few thoughts with us.
So dignitaries, and then faculty colleagues and my dear students, so good morning to all of you. So first of all, I would like to thank the organizers, for inviting me to this inaugural function. And now, of course, as you know, right, CEA, we have in our institute Sarang and Shastra. They are the face of our institute. Now, CEA Fest is the face of our civil engineering department. Okay, and of course, everything here, is done by the students itself. As a faculty, we only stand back and then support them and encourage them. That's what is essential. Okay, and now, of course, as she mentioned, I think Professor Annavar also mentioned a lot of activities are there. I request all of you to participate and make use of this nice opportunity. Now, of course, I just wanted to say two things actually. So nowadays, civil engineering is undergoing a lot of transformation. In the olden days, if I want to understand deflection stresses, we used to write equation of motion or that simple bending formula. We used to calculate and do the deflection actually. But then slowly numerical methods came, finite element, color plots you followed, right? You model in this thing, get deflection. This nowadays, what's happening is, if you want to find out deflection or stresses, we are really casting specimens in the lab itself, putting instrumentation, getting the data, and we are directly measuring actually. Okay, so from equation of motion, now slowly we are moving towards data, this kind of things. And of course, nowadays, I don't know whether sensors are cheap or our affordability has increased. So a lot of experiments, I think everywhere I am seeing so many experiments, a lot of data is getting collected through many of these things. And of course, our government of India is also sponsoring many projects actually, like one early warning systems, for earthquakes, glacial outbursts, landslides, many things. Every 10 kilometers they are going to put up an instrument. Even in buildings also, then microzonation, a lot of soil data is getting generated, transportation engineering, environmental. So much of data is coming into picture actually. Okay. So what I request all the students is to develop these data skills also, data analytics skills apart from your conventional things. Okay, that's one thing I just wanted to mention. Now on the second thing, see nowadays I remember as a student, we had only studies only, little bit of extracurricular activities were there, just some music or maybe some sports, that's all. But nowadays your generation, I'm seeing, you people are doing so many things actually. Okay, so like you are doing courses, then some of you are doing entrepreneurship in first year itself. Okay, I'm observing. Then internships you are doing, then Shastra you are doing, conducting events, then Sarang, co-curricular activities, then elections. I'm seeing, people are doing a lot of hard work and you are fighting well also. Okay, doing well and fighting well also. So many things your generation is able to do it. So sometimes I feel as a faculty I am not able to manage, balance we are not able to do. But I don't know how your people are able to do all these things very nicely. This one. So hats off to all of you. Okay. So and of course I wish all of you very good luck and this CEA very great success. So thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your thoughtful words. We now like to welcome Sir Bala Subramaniam, who is a representative from L&T EduTech, a division of Larsen and Toubro that is reshaping engineering education by combining industry-relevant skills with academic rigor. Please join me in welcoming our speaker.
Good morning. Am I audible? So I think I wish you all could come forward. This is not going to be any lecture session, so be assured. You all can come forward in audio. Right? I am ready to discuss. Thank you all for the energy. Come back, come to the front. Thank you. So first of all, welcome to all of you, the students, faculties, dignitaries here. And first of all, let us pat us back, because we are what you call civil engineering community. And you are all going to be the budding engineers of the future. And the entire nation building is resting on you. So hats off to you, and with your energy and this thing only for that our country will move forward. So my title for the theme today is Engineering the Future. We are going to talk about what we can do in the coming years ahead, right? So that's what I choose the title for today. I hope you are all happy to take that theme. We'll discuss other aspects also, like what are the expectations from the industry and how you can equip yourself and all that in the coming slides. So let's start with this. Okay, small background about myself. I'm basically from IIT Madras only. Long back, seniors to many of your faculties here. Passed out in '84, and of course I joined in L&T as a postgraduate trainee. And so I can at least give you a standing example how a structural engineering career could be. So many of the people will be thinking what civil engineering professional could be. So all can be rest assured. Plenty of opportunities are there in civil engineering. It's all up to how you all take it up. And I myself, consider myself okay in career. Gone a long way in L&T, as well as I worked abroad also. And I worked in almost all types of industries and more than, I'm basically a structural engineer by practice. And right now I'm looking after the EdTech business of L&T, wherein we are trying to help the campuses in educating the students. So this is the background, let's not forget about that. Let's talk about what's shaping our civil engineering scenario, right? Basically, it's the infrastructure. All of you know that it's going to be great investment coming up in infrastructure, and we all need good infrastructure, right? Without a proper road or any of those, even communication infrastructure, nothing will go. We can go ahead in any other areas of technology. We can move to 5G, 6G or 10G and all that. But unless we have the infrastructure in place, nothing is going to happen in a real effective way, right? So once again, everybody has to rely on civil engineering, right? The infrastructure builders are the civil engineers. So plenty of opportunities you can see in India in the coming years. We want to be like a China or any other developed country, and the infrastructure is going to be there. So we will talk about all that in the slides, like what are the infrastructure requirements, how as civil engineers you will be able to support in this momentum of growth, right? And I want more of interaction here, so you people can ask questions or anything on the way rather than, it's not a lecture, right? So be enthusiastic about any question. Please stop me if I'm going a little fast or whatever, right? So be free to ask. You are ready to answer the questions. So this is the background. Our infrastructure is landscape is booming, is required. Whether we need it or not, it's a demand. I will talk about all that. And see, where and all our infrastructure you are talking about. It could be on roads, as I told you, we have to have better roads. The current roads are okay for the generation so far. Now the population is increasing and the requirements are more. So our infrastructure on roads, we have this Bharatmala Yojana here, and already this investment is there. Then we have the airports. Almost all the cities have got airports which are either getting new one or the existing one expanded. You would have seen Chennai is going for the second airport. Mumbai is already having second and they are planning for the third. Bangalore is having two. Like that, every airport is expanding because we have to move. People have to move places with a faster speed, and they cannot travel by the usual the road or something. It is taking more time. So airport infrastructure is happening, and our airports, you can see that there is a complete change. Earlier from the usual typical infrastructure, now we are changing to a good modern structures now. We'll talk about all that. Then of course the railways. The railways are improving. They are coming with metros, bullet train, and we are talking about hyperloop also. It's a part of it, right? So that's another area. I think IIT Madras is involved in a big way in the hyperloop experimentation. So plenty of opportunities for you guys. Nothing to concern. You are in the right track. Only thing is how to make use of the opportunities. Another area is the Sagarmala, the ports. Our ports are all requires a lot of infrastructure at ports because a lot of freight and other things are happening. So these are the major areas I can think of. Anything else come to your mind? Anything else you think of apart from the generic stuff? Right? Start looking at the conversation. You don't want to be a video speaker. Are you able to hear me now? Okay. So anything else apart? Before that I know that this is one talking about the background of the infrastructure, right? Any other infrastructure you felt? We talked about roads, airports, and all that. Any other thing people comes to your mind when you talk about infrastructure? You all have to express. Being engineers, you have to talk. You cannot be sitting silent spectators, right? Anything else? You are in the final years or in the third year or second year? Not too far. 2 more years to go. That's it. Right? So anything else? See, communication infrastructure means what? You require a lot of communication infrastructure, right? You have broadband or the network, all those things also required. And requires support from, apart from the electronics or the computer domains, you require support from civil, right? Even transmission line towers, you want to distribute power, electrical. Transmission line towers is basically a structural engineer's job, right? So you have to look from that perspective, right? Then what are the other areas? Now we are civil engineering, now we have to have new materials, right? We are no longer a traditional brick and mortar, the construction is changing a lot, okay? So we have to come with new innovative materials, sustainable materials and all that. So we talk about all this, and nowadays now we are talking about bio-based materials, no? We are talking for sustainability. So bio-based materials we are talking about. And we are talking about lot of usage of glass. We have seen that facades coming with glass. But glass has got, you have to come with an innovative glass. You cannot use the traditional glass, right? You should have low heat gain and all that. So we are talking about low emissivity glass. We are talking about low carbon concrete because we are talking about carbon footprint. Because now the climate change is another area. No? We have civil engineers have got a big role to play. So carbon footprint, to reduce that, we have to use low carbon, right? We are talking about transparent materials now, solar panels, because renewable energy is going to be the thing, right? We cannot be depending on coal based energy anymore. So we are talking about transparent solar panels. We are talking about graphene and nanotechnology materials in construction. See, once again, solar panels means what you will think, what is a civil engineer's role there? What are the where civil engineers are going to play for solar panels or this renewable energy and all? Any guess? Right. Exactly. You have to mount the solar panels on a rooftop or any other zero structures, and you don't use traditional concrete pillars to do that. You use a lightweight material. It could be aluminium. It could be cold form steel. Right. Right. You require a sort of a structure to support the solar panel. Right. So all associated things will come. So this is solar panel is structures are another areas where many engineers are now working, and many companies are also providing some. And of course, this graphene nanotechnology we are using in construction. Either we are using a fiber or a different type of material to make a biocement and all that. Right. So we should be aware of all these properties of these materials for the effective use in construction. Right. Okay. Now when we talk about 3D printing, I think you all would have heard about 3D printing. IIT Madras is also involved in a big way. So we are associated with IIM. So you all know that. I just show a clips of that to understand where we are.
With 3D concrete printing, the future of Indian housing. As proof of concept, we first 3D concrete printed a single-story building. Then, we 3D concrete printed India's first ground+1 building. Now, we have 3D concrete printed a full-fledged flat. L&T has revolutionized 3D printing technology by engineering a concrete mix with locally available construction material and developed ingenious methods to integrate reinforcement. Specialized concrete is a paradoxical combination of properties that ensures pumpability, flowability, green status, and buildability. Both horizontal and vertical rebar are embedded in the printing. 3D concrete printing has several advantages over conventional construction. We are now ready to build up to 4-story buildings, mass housing, villas, factories, and more. Anytime, anywhere, fast, made-to-order structures are now a reality. Thanks to our expertise in 3D concrete printing.
Right. See, you got an idea about 3D printing, a glimpse of it. This is what's happening in the current situation now. We have done a lot of buildings in Bangalore for post offices. I don't know if you heard about that. That he has done in Karnataka. They wanted around 100 post offices to be done. And earlier, the post offices used to be non-display building, not very attractive. They were just letting it out. And so the post offices needed a lot of change in look, and they want much more for their marketing. So they decided to go for 3 because they wanted a very faster way of building a regular building will take time, and this is very fast, and people do aesthetic also. See, the challenges in 3D printing was initially we were able to do only pure content. There is no rebound. It is like PCC. Only thing is in the higher grade. So now we have come up with ways how we can integrate even rebar. because the printer was to 4 pound weight. So this rebar was an obstacle. So we have come up with some solutions to it. Now we are able to even 3D print walls with rebar. We have done that, and a couple of things we have done recently in our own campuses as well as outside. So that is being performed. And right now we are doing a lot of research on the material, that is the mix. We want a little different types of a mix so that the nozzle doesn't get stuck. See, one of the issues after printing, the nozzle gets stuck. We have to go and clean it up and all that, so that will take a little bit of time. So we wanted to bring in a different types of mix, and so we are progressing well. And we hope that in a matter of months we will be able to come with a different type of concrete mix, as well as the pumps required for that. Is that right? Next, we talk about what are the smart technologies happening in civil engineering. I think you all would have heard about building information modeling. BIM. Anybody is working on BIM here? In any of your courses or curriculum, or in any of your projects or anything on BIM? You know what is BIM? That's an expansion of BIM. But what's it? Exactly, right. It does collaborate with all the disciplines who are involved. See, basically what engineering is all about drawings, right? We express not in words, we express in drawings. Our language is in drawing. We draw something and the site does it, right? So we have been traditionally using either a manual drafting or a AutoCAD based drafting. That was our way we were doing it. From manual drafting we progressed to AutoCAD or any other software for doing what I call software way. And we were giving 2D printed drawings to the site, and the draftsperson and engineer were the background behind the drawing, and we were doing the site. It has changed now. We are talking in visualization, because earlier the problem was, as our professor was talking about, many things we are doing manually, equations and other things. Nowadays things are changing, because even reading a drawing is a skill. It's not easy. You have to be trained to understand what the engineer or the draftsperson meant, and what are the things to be looked in a drawing. Whereas if we can do a 3D model, visualization is much more easier. And not only the engineer, the owner of the particular the user or somebody can understand what we are going to construct. So they can give some comments and we can make some changes. Whereas the other one, no, we do everything, build it, then he will say, I didn't expect a beam here. So because he is not an engineer, he doesn't understand all that. He is not able to visualize. Whereas if I give a model to him, I can tell him this is the model, this is going to be your, we call it a digital twin. I'll explain that. We are making a digital twin of the structure or the building or the whatever facility we are going to develop. You can show it to the client, he can understand